management in, then we have seen IT sector, then we had seen about the automobile sector. Now these are the various sectors where which are contributing to the India's economy, getting, and these are the sector which are giving the huge employment to India, and there are so much investment is also going on, and these are also helping to improve our Indian economy, and these sectors are also giving us a foreign exchange. Why there is need of foreign exchange? Because some of the times or every time we have to take or import some goods and services from other country, at that time we have to make the payment of these imports on the in the form of their own currencies, so that we should have to hold certain foreign currencies of other countries from which we are importing goods and services. That's why to make this payment we require the foreign currencies. So these are the some sectors like automobile sector, then agricultural sector, then you have healthcare sector, then hospitality sector and educational sector. Due to these sectors we will generate certain foreign exchange or foreign currencies which is required to make the balance of payments. Okay, so in the last lecture we had studied about the automobile sector. So automobile sector is the sector where so many Indian players and foreign players are also doing their businesses in the India. Through this automobile sector, what is happening? So competition has been increased and the cost of production is increasing day by day, because raw material inputs required this automobile sector, value or cost of these raw materials and inputs are increasing day by day. Cost of raw material, then cost of inventory, then your cost of labor, then direct expenses, these costs are increasing day by day due to inflations and some other factors. So these increase in cost of inputs affect on to decide the final price of product, so that price of product is also increasing, and due to which what is happening every time, due to having competition in the market, we can't raise the price every time, where we have to keep our price of product in automobile companies as a competitive price means what, where you would have very less margin, very less profit. To increase your profitability level, what you have to do, you can't increase the prices of product. What you have to do, you have to reduce the cost. So difference between your selling price and your cost of production, that will be your margin. So rather than increasing the price of product, what you have to do, you have to reduce your cost of production. That's why you have to manage these all kind of resources in a strategic ways. You have to control the cost, you have to reduce the cost, and you have to find out the various cost allocation centers. Right. So here you have to do the reverse engineering with respect to cost. Each and every departmental head must think about the reduction in the cost. Unnecessary expenses, unnecessary wastages we have to control, so that we can save our cost or we can save our expenses, so that we can generate much more revenue, because selling price increase in selling price is not possible every time. Getting this? That's why what we have to do, we have to reduce the cost, manufacturing cost, factory cost, selling and distribution cost, post promotional cost, each and every cost we have to reduce. Getting this? So these are the ways by which I can use the strategic cost management. In strategic cost management, what we have to learn, we have to learn how to reduce the expenses in automobile sector, because reduction of expenses delivers product at a lower cost in the market, so that you will generate the revenue. And you have to also find the opportunities whether we have scope to make or to buy the product. Getting this? So here whoever employees working in the organization in the automobile sector, each and every employee should focus to reduce the cost, should focus to control the cost. That is in our hand. Okay, accordingly, you have to manage your suppliers, you have to manage your production facilities, you have to manage your warehouse, then employees, so many things you have to manage by the way of cost reduction. Here, whatever direct and indirect costs which are coming across each and every stage, what we have to do, we have to find the alternatives. That alternative will give you scope to reduce the cost. And in case of this automobile sector, to record the cost and to monitor the cost, we have to use the activity based costing technique. So activity based costing technique is the technique which will find out the list of activities, then tentative its cost drivers, and accordingly you are going to allocate this cost. So activity based costing is the more accurate. That's why we can use this, and it will help us to reduce the cost of production and to increase the margin. So this was about the cost reduction targets into automobile sector. So this we have seen in the last lecture, as well as we have to as well as we have to set certain target. So we have to implement the target costing. So target costing means what? Everywhere we will set certain targets, and we will procure the material, we will hire the labor as per this target costing. We will try to follow these targets, and then we will calculate the actual difference between your actual cost and target cost, or actual cost and standard cost, and we will calculate the variations, or we will calculate the variances, and we will analyze these variances. These variances also help us to reduce the cost. So this was about the strategic cost management. Okay, now next sector. This next fourth sector is healthcare sector. So here also we have to study the cost management techniques, how we are going to study under healthcare. Now healthcare means what? Healthcare is related to medical policies or medical services, provision or the supply of medical services or hospital services, not hospitality. Hospitality is different than healthcare. Now, healthcare sector consists of businesses that provides medical services, manufacture of medical equipments, drugs. These services, this sector also provide the medical insurance. This also comes under healthcare sector, and otherwise facilitate the provision of health care to the patient. That is the services to the patient. For example, pathology labs, then various kinds of labs available for testing, or to test the health of human being. So all these areas of business, this comes under healthcare sector. First is the basically hospitals, then your medicals, then some of the businesses which are providing health care, that is medicines, then medical equipments, then along with medical allied activities which are providing. This comes under healthcare sector. Healthcare sector consists of businesses involved in the provision of coordination of medical and related goods and services which are required for medical activities. So this medical sector or healthcare sector consists of basic medical basic hospitals, and along with this, all the supporting services who are providing services to these healthcare industries and to the patients as well. So that is about the healthcare sector. Healthcare sector is one of the largest and most complex in Indian economy, and it is accounting 2.1% of GDP in 2020. So approximate 3% contribution is there into in the GDP contribution. Now, healthcare sector benefits from strong system of medical research and development in cooperation with higher education system and technology industry. First one is that healthcare sector depends upon medical research So many researches are going on this medical field. And so this is research and development. Medical research and development is the foundation of healthcare sector. Second is the higher education system, because we are improving our education system. We are giving the better quality education system into healthcare. So this is the second foundation. So whatever is the research and development activities we are doing in medical sector, on the basis of this, we are providing better quality education which is suitable to cure the diseases. And next one is the technology. We are adopting, we are manufacturing technological machineries like MRI machineries, CT scan machineries, then you know, uh, testing kind of machineries, labs are there. Okay, healthcare labs are also there. So these are these technologies. So this healthcare in the sector depends upon, first thing is the research and development. Second thing is that quality education to the to the students of medical field, then pharmaceutical field, nursing colleges, pharmaceutical industries, and hospital industries, where we are providing better quality education. And last one is the healthcare industry also depends on technology. More number of technologies we are inventing, and we are providing these kind of technological services for the healthcare industries. Then here also here also basically through healthcare industries, objectives is not to generate the profit. Basic objective is not to generate the profit. Basic objective of healthcare industry is to cure or to cure the patient or provide the basic service, to provide the health service to the patients. Getting this? So here basic objective is to concentrate or to focus on the health of the patients. Getting this? Not to generate the more revenue. Getting this? That's why it is registered. Healthcare organizations register under the charity commissions, because objective is to help, to cooperate, to support. Getting this? That's why basic this healthcare industries register under the charity commission. Now here there is also increase in various costs involved in this healthcare industry, due to which it is difficult to the hospitals to provide the services at cheaper cost. It is not possible right now. Getting this? What is happening? The input cost and actual cost of this healthcare industry, that is the raw material cost, services cost, then remuneration given to the nurses, doctors, compounders, then whatever are the employees which are associated with these hospitals, their cost is also increasing. That's why I have to bear this cost through this fees of consultation. Getting this? Now, being this healthcare services, I can't charge more to the patients. Getting this? So I can't charge more to the patients, and I can't convince to these employees to work with the less amount of salaries, like nurses, doctors, and your inputs required. So I can't get any kind of concession over there. So it is very difficult to manage my expenses and my revenue, because I can't charge more amount of revenue. I can't charge more amount of fees to the patients, being a charity or being a charitable hospital. But by running this charitable hospital, nothing is free of cost to me. So it is important to balance between cost and your revenue. Okay. As well as here the strategies. So to manage this my expenses, I need to implement, or I need to create certain amount of strategies. How to reduce this cost and how to increase the revenue. Getting this? Basic motto of healthcare services is to provide the service, not to generate the money, not to exploit to the patients. That's why my fees will be very less, or my fees will be affordable, my charges will be affordable, and the services which I am getting from other industries, supporting industries, which will be not like this. So this is the common challenge right now. Okay. Now, for these reasons, I need to create certain kind of strategic cost management policies. I have to prepare certain amount of certain kind of strategies which will help us to reduce the cost of inputs and which will also help us to convince to the patients, to give the justification to the patients about their fees and services. Now, whatever strategies we will be preparing, these strategies can help to the hospital to manage the cost while prioritizing patients' experiences. Here, if we don't satisfy the patient's expectations, then patient will not move towards us again. That's why anyhow we need to satisfy our patients by providing better and better facilities, better and better services. Here, Medicare reimbursement generally falls short of actual cost, so healthcare systems and providers struggle to better match their cost with the reimbursement. Though companies are providing insurance, but that insurance will be not 100%. They will apply certain criteria where reimbursement will be always less than your actual cost. That's why all hospitals have to manage this reimbursement cost and actual cost every time. Large increases in healthcare cost can also help it make difficult to balance the budget, but at the same time, healthcare benefits are pivotal in attracting the retaining the qualified staff. So here, one more challenge is that hospitality in the hospital industry or healthcare industry is facing is that retaining the staff. Retaining the staff means what? If your employees are resigning within 2 to 3 months or within 6 months, then what will happen? It bears the cost on the hospitals. So one skilled employee, he may be a doctor, he may be compounder, nurse, or any kind of technician who is working, lab technician who is working into your hospital, should we should have to create certain policies due to which he should retain with my organization. He will retain with my hospital. That's why here also we have to create staff retaining policies, because if there is no star retention ratio is if retention ratio is not good, then again they can hospitals can face the problems. So we have to retain the qualified staff, we have to retain the qualified doctor. On that basis we will get the customers, because कस्टमर सिर्फ फैसिलिटी को देख के नहीं आता है, पेशेंट फैसिलिटी देख के नहीं आता है, पेशेंट डॉक्टर का क्वालिफिकेशन, डॉक्टर का एक्सपीरियंस एंड डॉक्टर का रिस्पॉन्स देख के आता है, फीडबैक देख के आता है. दैट्स व्हाई if there is not retainment of the quality staff, then what will happen? You will lose your business. Customer patient will not move towards us. So in case of business in healthcare, what kind of businesses which comes under healthcare? Just go through this. Which are the businesses which comes under healthcare sector? Healthcare is not only hospitals. Blood banks are also part of this healthcare industries. All labs, laboratories, biotechnology companies or biotechnology industries, health insurance providers, pharmaceutical companies, then clinics and hospitals, then companies that produce professional and home health products such as blood pressure monitors, orthopedic devices, surgical equipment, surgical supplies, mask, then scissors and all kind of laboratory equipments providers. So these all businesses comes under this healthcare sector. इतने businesses healthcare sector में है. Healthcare sector is not only hospital and medicals. Along with these biotechnology companies, health insurance providers, pharmaceutical companies, then your equipments, manufacturing organization, that also comes under, this also comes under this healthcare sector. So these are the various sectors, these are the various components of healthcare sector. Now just look at the diagram. What is the classification of healthcare? Then let's see one by one. Basically, healthcare sector is classified into two categories, two industry groups. One is the healthcare equipment and services. Healthcare equipments and services. Second is pharmaceutical industries, biotechnology industries, and along with this, some of these services. Now, under healthcare equipment and services, first is it consists of healthcare equipment and supplies. Second is healthcare providers and service, that is the hospitals, and healthcare technology, means what equipments which we are using, machineries we are using over here, that is CT scan machinery, MRI machinery, and other kind of machinery we have to use that. Under these pharmaceuticals and biotechnology and services, first is the biotechnology, which are studying about the cells, living organisms of living cells. The next one is the life science and tools and services, and last one is the pharmaceutical. So these are the various components of healthcare industries. Now let us see one by one. What comes under healthcare equipments and supplies? It includes companies that manufacture equipments and supplies ranging from basics such as crutches and bandages to advanced equipments like machineries, MRI machineries, and CT scan machinery. So these are about the healthcare equipments and supplies. Those industry which are providing such kind of equipment, such kind of services to healthcare industry, hospitals, that comes under healthcare equipments and supplies. They are also playing major role in healthcare sector. If there is no growth of this sector, automatically hospitals will face the problems because they are interconnected with each other. So if this sector, healthcare equipment and supply sector, faces the problem, automatically hospitals will face the problem. They will not get the inputs on the right time. So second is the healthcare provider and services, in which hospitals are there, rehabilitation centers are there, nursing homes are there, and colleges will be there. Okay, so these are the healthcare providers and services. Abhi dekhiye, in first we have seen the healthcare equipments and supplies. They are good, but if amount of hospitals, if the facility of hospitals is not good, then what will happen? If the nursing homes and hospitals and rehabilitation centers, if their services is not good, automatically this sector also hampers thus. Next one is the healthcare technology. It includes companies that are engaged into research and development. They are continuously doing the clinical research as well as analyzing the data to innovate current healthcare facilities. जो उसमें engage है, these are also part of healthcare industries. That is it consists of healthcare equipments and supplies, healthcare provider and services, and healthcare technology. Healthcare technology is nothing but labs, clinical research and development equipments, and clinical such kind of agencies who are continuously doing experiments. So this is about the healthcare equipment and services. Second category was was about the pharmaceutical, biotechnology, and life sciences industries. Now, what is the biotechnology? Biotechnology means what? This includes companies that performs research and development or manufacturing that are generally derived from the living organism, which are engaged in the activities of study of cells, study of tissues, who are doing the testing of tissues and cells, जिसका जो आप स्टडी करते हैं, this all comes under biotechnology. With the help of technology, we are studying about the small tissues, small cells which exist into human bodies. Okay, HBCs रहेगा या WBCs रहेगा या कैंसर के सेल्स रहेंगे या अदर डिसीजेस के सेल्स रहेंगे, उसका स्टडी ये बायोटेक्नोलॉजी के अंदर आता है. Second is the pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals means for drugs and vaccines required. Drugs and vaccines required, that comes under pharmaceuticals. And next one is the life sciences, tools and services, in which clinical testing services, analytical tools, and general contract research services, which are also supporting to the healthcare sector. So if any problems this industry faces, so automatically hospitals and medical, they can also face the problem. So these are the major constituents of healthcare industries. कौन से हैं? First one is that healthcare equipments and supplies, healthcare providers, then healthcare technology, biotechnology, pharmaceuticals, and life sciences, tools and techniques. So these are the components of healthcare industry. Now here also, in case of healthcare industry, we have to implement the strategic cost management. Strategic cost management means what? We have to reduce the cost. We have to reduce the unnecessary things which is happening. Okay. Now see here, major role of healthcare industry is to provide the better quality service to the patient. Looking towards or taking care of patient health. Objective is not to generate the revenue more. Okay. But while providing the better quality services to the provider, to the patients, we have to bear certain amount of cost. Without cost, it doesn't happen. मुझे employee लगेगा, labs लगेगी, infrastructure लगेगा, then मुझे nurse की जरूरी है, compounder की जरूरी है, supporting staff की जरूरी है. These people will not work without money. Getting this? But whatever expenses we are bearing over here, so that amount of expenses we have to recover through this, fees and consultations. Getting this? But basic objective of healthcare industry is to provide health services, health related services. That's why I can't charge more here. Okay. So see here, so it is very crucial things to manage our cost. हम लोगों को क्या मेरे हाथ में है? कॉस्ट रिडक्शन करना, कॉस्ट मैनेज करना, यही मेरे हाथ में. प्रॉफिट कमाना, दिस इज नॉट माय ऑब्जेक्टिव, दिस इज नॉट माय गोल एज एन हेल्थ केयर प्रोवाइडर. So healthcare organization balances the expenditure with their top priority, that is the patient health is important. Healthcare organizations carefully and strategically reduce the spending that can avoid negatively impact of their ability to deliver the excellent patient services. They can reduce the expenses, but they should not compromise their services quality. Expenses कम करके सर्विस क्वालिटी में कॉम्प्रोमाइजेशन नहीं होगा हेल्थ केयर इंडस्ट्री में. अगर वो कॉम्प्रोमाइजेशन होता है किसमें? सर्विसेज के ऊपर, तो क्या होता है? दैट बिजनेस शुड नॉट वर्क. वो बिजनेस हेल्थ केयर का, दैट हॉस्पिटल शुड नॉट रन. किसी भी हालत में मुझे जो फैसिलिटी मुझे देना है मेरे पेशेंट को, वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं होने चाहिए. While compromising the cost, that is the challenging task. Because if you try to compromise the services, then what will happen? पेशेंट विल नॉट मूव अगेन टुवर्ड्स यू, पेशेंट बाद में आपके पास नहीं आएगा। इसलिए whatever are the expectations of patients, I need to provide that kind of services to the patients. So if I want to reduce the cost, it doesn't mean that I should reduce the services, I should stop the services. It should not happen. Okay, if patient is coming at your gate, means what you have, it is your task to satisfy, to give 100% satisfied to the satisfaction to the patients. Okay, now when healthcare organizations have many vendors and protocols to deal with, so here what you have to do, in case of healthcare organizations, your business is also depends upon your suppliers and vendors. So you have to also convince them कि हम लोग ज्यादा चार्ज पेशेंट से नहीं कर सकते हैं, that's why I can't also pay more to you as well. So you have to convince to your vendors as well, because our business is not to generate the revenue, our business is to provide the basic health facility to the patients. Now patient is in the problem, पेशेंट प्रॉब्लम में है, पेशेंट का इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन हर एक पेशेंट का अच्छा ही नहीं होता है, getting this, and patient has no interest to come without problem to your hospitals. कुछ प्रॉब्लम है इसलिए पेशेंट आया है, हर एक पेशेंट का इकोनॉमिक हेल्थ अच्छा नहीं हो सकता है, that's why we can't change the rates of the services as well. That's why it is your job to follow certain protocols and to follow convince to your vendors and suppliers accordingly. Okay, by standardizing the services, hospitals can lower the overall operating cost and boost patient satisfaction. So to reduce the unnecessary expenses, what I have to do, I have to prepare certain standards of the services, and by using this kind of standards of services, I can reduce the cost and will provide the better satisfaction to the patients. Customer should be happy with my hospital. So this is, the hospital is the industry which improves on the basis of mouth publicity. एडवर्टाइजिंग इज वन पार्ट, लेकिन हर टाइम एडवर्टाइजमेंट के ऊपर ये बिजनेस चलता नहीं। ये जो बिजनेस है ये माउथ पब्लिसिटी के ऊपर चलता है, ये बिजनेस कॉन्फिडेंस के ऊपर चलता है, ये बिजनेस एक्सपीरियंस के ऊपर चलता है। एज पर द कॉन्फिडेंस गिवन टू द पेशेंट्स, एज पर द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ पेशेंट्स, will get the demand for our services. That's why anyhow patient should not be dissatisfied with my hospitals, that I have to take care. The strategic areas to bundle contract includes clinical engineering, food services, and environmental services. That kind of services also we have to provide along with this. Okay. This sector is often subject to government intervention. हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज अगर हम लोग प्रोवाइड करते हैं तो वहां पे गवर्नमेंट का इंटरवेंशन दिखता है. देयर आर सर्टेन काइंड्स ऑफ ऑडिट्स, गवर्नमेंट ऑडिट्स विल बी देयर, who will inspect your infrastructure, who will inspect your services, who will inspect your patients. वो क्या करेंगे, फीडबैक ले लेंगे and accordingly they will give you grade. Getting this? So government intervention is also there. That's why you can't exploit to the patients, you can't exploit to the customers as well. So private healthcare nowadays, what is happening, there is no private healthcare companies are also starting to maximize the profit. There are also some, but how they can maximize the profit? By providing excellent facilities. If you wanted to generate the revenue, if you are looking towards as a business at that time, you have to provide excellent facilities to the patient, then and they will turn up. Okay, but जो public hospitals है, उनका ऑब्जेक्टिव है टू सर्व टू द कम्युनिटी, नॉट टू जनरेट द प्रॉफिट. लेकिन जो बिजनेस एज अ बिजनेस उसके तरफ, हॉस्पिटल्स के तरफ देख रहे, उनका क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव है? टू जनरेट द प्रॉफिट. जो हेल्थ इंडस्ट्रीज है, जो पब्लिक इंडस्ट्री है, उनका ऑब्जेक्टिव प्रॉफिट कमाना नहीं होता है. सो अकॉर्डिंगली दे नीड टू मैनेज द कॉस्ट. जो हॉस्पिटल्स का ऑब्जेक्टिव प्रॉफिट कमाना होता है वो क्या करेंगे, वो ज्यादा एक्सपेंसेस बेयर करेंगे और वो रिकवर भी कर सकते हैं। लेकिन जो हॉस्पिटल्स का ऑब्जेक्टिव प्रॉफिट कमाना नहीं होता है उनको क्या करना पड़ेगा, उनके वेंडर को कन्विंस करना पड़ेगा, भाई सी we are not here to generate the profit, we are here to serve to the patients, so you have to also bear certain amount of cost. I have to convince in this way to my suppliers, vendors and my service providers. Government must carefully regulate the sector and ensure that citizens can gain adequate access to the social services. Getting this? Now, healthcare is also highly specialized field that only professionals within the industry would have intimate knowledge of their area. ये जो business है हर कोई नहीं कर सकता है. Getting this? If a particular doctor is not available today, I can't replace that doctor by other people. डॉक्टर की जगह पे डॉक्टर ही होना चाहिए, नर्स की जगह पे नर्स ही होनी चाहिए, पेशेंट कंपाउंडर की जगह पे कंपाउंडर, टेक्नीशियन का काम डॉक्टर का काम टेक्नीशियन नहीं कर सकता, टेक्नीशियन का काम डॉक्टर नहीं कर सकता. गेटिंग दिस? सो दैट highly qualified professionals should be there and they should be retained by the organization, and it is important that how to retain these people, because to retain these people we have to provide better amount of remuneration, and to provide or to give the better amount of remuneration we have to earn more. To earn more we have to generate the profit, and we can't generate more amount of profit because we are dealing with health of the patients, so we can't take the advantage of this patient's health. Okay, so these are the challenges here. Now scope. So anyhow we have to reduce the cost of our expenses, we have to reduce the cost of our services. That time where is the scope to reduction in the cost in healthcare? Now just read this entire slide. So in this slide I have written the where is the scope. Just go through this slide. So here there are the cost reduction techniques which I have explained. So first one is the examining the patient flow. Okay, see here. In case of healthcare, बाकी suppliers वगैरह वो खुद का manage करेंगे. But the thing is that in case of hospitals, how you are going to reduce the cost and how you are going to satisfy to the customers, to the patients. Here, hospitals should examine the patient flow to identify strategic cost management opportunities. Patient flow means what? How many patients are coming in a day, and what is the interval time of these patients. Getting this? Because on the basis of this you have to manage your machineries, you have to manage your staff as well. Getting this? So patient flow is what is the interval? Patient morning को आते हैं या afternoon को आते हैं या evening को आते हैं? What is the flow? Getting this? So what is the continuity in the flow, patient flow? Accordingly you have to manage your resources. Getting this? You will decide the time. For example, सुबह 7 से 10 बजे तक, शाम को 6 से 10 बजे तक. Getting this? You can also manage this patient flow, or during the entire day how you are going to decide to provide the services. आपका हॉस्पिटल दिन भर चालू रखना है या सुबह 4 घंटा, शाम को 4 घंटा. Getting this? So accordingly it will give you scope to reduce your expenses. And once customer or once the patient arrived into your hospital, at that time there should be the linkages in the services. service number 1 होने के बाद 2, and there should be no gap. There is no that much physical distance between two services. Registration एक जगह पे, उसके बाद प्राइमरी चेकअप एक जगह पे, उसके बाद नया टेस्ट हर दूसरी जगह पे, उसके बाद मेडिकल का लोकेशन कुछ अलग जगह पे नहीं होना चाहिए. All the facilities should be at one roof. All the facilities should be available at one point. All the facilities will be available in one building. Which type of facilities? Registration, doctor ka cabin, uske baad lab will be also available there, then medical store will be there, then your admission rahega, that will be also in the same floor. Means what? Customer should not run here and there. And if there is the gap between the services, registration 6 बजे हुआ मॉर्निंग को, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट सर्विस विल बी अवेलेबल आफ्टर 10, तो 6 से 10 बजे तक वो पेशेंट उधर बैठ के क्या करेगा? गेटिंग दिस? So that there should be the continuous flow of the services. So there should be no any kind of waiting times to the patients, and customers should not run here and there to avail the services. Getting this? So you should have to manage each kind of services, and you have to behave very proper. And you should have to, there should be no such a situation that the non-availability of particular, मुझे lab testing में मुझे कुछ test करनी है लेकिन technician is not available, electricity is not available, or the expert is not available, printer is not working. That should not happen. Getting this? So that if if these kind of disturbances are there, that time what will happen? Customer will not happy with your services, as well as you should have to bear the cost. Breakdown should not be there, and breakdown should be monitored carefully. Then you should have to preserve the staff. कितने बजे मेरे patient आने वाले हैं? Accordingly, lab technician should be available there. Medicals should start on the time, as well as any kind of test. Labs are also there. That time they should work properly. Then whoever are there, so there you have to mention, you have to ensure that maximum occupancy for every hospital bed. Availability of infrastructure, availability of facilities will be also there. And if these facilities are not there, at that time what will happen? I have to tell to the patient that is come after 2 days, come after 3 days. But this should not, then customer will not, that patient will not wait for these services. He will go to the another hospital, another doctor. Getting this? So there will be the smooth flow of your services. Anyhow, customers should not be disappointed. And if you are maintaining your services with a smooth flow, automatically you will get chance to reduce your cost. Then again, what you can do, you can provide the transportation facilities from VST stand or from particular destinations. Okay, if you provide the transportation facilities, as well as what will happen, you will manage your customers, you will manage your patients, and accordingly you can reduce your cost. As well as this investment reduces the blockages and blocks, and help to keep the patient flow moving. Ultimately, ultimately reducing the overall cost while giving the patient satisfaction. So here, to reduce the cost, to reduce the expenses, as a hospital, I need to examine the patient flow. And with respect to this patient's flow, I need to arrange my activities. I need to arrange my resources. There should be no waiting time to the patient to the registration counter पे 1 घंटा गया, और patient तब पे registration counter पे एक minimum time में उसका registration होना चाहिए. Minimum time में कोई भी facility उसको देना चाहिए. Getting this? There should be no any kind of waiting time. Okay, so this is one way to reduce the cost, by proper examining the patient flow. Second, examining the healthcare staff. First one is that retaining. One of the challenges is the retention ratio of staff. Retaining means what? Staff should not resign the organization. Staff should not resigning Staff means what? The people who are providing the services. It may be, he may be a doctor, he may be nurse, he may be a compounder, he may be a lab technician, medical store representative, or such kind of staffs. So there should be a retaining ratio, because hiring new employee, again, it bear much cost. Getting this? So looking toward this staff, looking toward the staff, patients are coming towards your hospital. So if you are changing every time, if patient is looking every time new patient, new staff, that time he will not satisfy from your services. Getting this? So here, staff retaining is the one of the ratio, one of the area. So by retaining the staff, you can increase your profit and you can save your cost. Retaining great associates and decreasing staff turnover help to manage the cost, since continually hiring new staff is time consuming and expensive. आपको नया ऑर्डर देना पड़ेगा, कंसल्टेंसी रिक्रूट करना पड़ेगा, कंसल्टेंसी को पैसे देना पड़ेगा, एडवर्टीजमेंट करना पड़ेगा. So this bears the cost. Then hospitals can look at the ways to improve associate satisfaction and foster positive work environment. अगर ये retention ratio रहा, if we are providing better quality services to the staff as well, staff को भी उसी टाइप के services होना चाहिए, तभी वो काम करेगा. That's why that time, by providing better quality services, better salary, better remuneration to the staff, they will work for the organization. Getting this? So retaining staff is one of the important area due to which I can save my cost. And to retain the employee, I have to understand the employee's satisfaction, whether this doctor is satisfied with my organization or not, whether this compounder is satisfied, whether his technician is satisfied with me or not. Second is the associate training and development. Proper job training is required, due to which they will provide better and better services to patients. As well as we should have to convince, we should have to also explain to these associates, by through the trainings and development, I need to train the people, due to which employee should not make any kind of mistakes, unnecessary activities, damages, ye reworks nahi hona chahiye. Getting this? Through this less damages, less reworks, we can save our cost. Okay, every time you can't scold to the person, you have to convince, you have to tell them the real ground situation, due to which what will happen, I need to take care that my employee, my technician is expert or not. Expert employee, expert technicians will reduce the cost of organization. Then recognizing good work. अगर कोई भी engagement उसका कितना काम है, उसके हिसाब से उसका recognition भी होना चाहिए, staff का recognition होना चाहिए. Then and then he will work there, and he will ultimately get the retention. Then if person is working more as compared to other, that time I have to give the benefits as well. Then optimizing scheduling. Scheduling यानी जो employee मेरे यहाँ पे काम करने के आता है, उसका 100% efficiency उसने काम करना चाहिए, and I have to allocate such a shift in which he is comfortable. नाइट में अच्छा है, जनरल में अच्छा है, मॉर्निंग में आना चाहता है, accordingly I have to allocate him task. By allocating the task, there will be less absenteeism. अगर absenteeism आ गया तो cost bear होती है, cost increase होती है. तो cost absenteeism reduce करने के लिए मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? I have to give him alternatives. Okay, so this is about the healthcare sector. Getting this? Now next sector is the hospitality sector. Just hold 1 minute. Now in healthcare sector, we have just studied, that is how to reduce the cost. So to reduce the cost, first thing is that this is basic service. This is one kind of help to the patient. That's why we don't charge more revenue, we don't charge more fees. Getting this? Now second thing is that here, in case of healthcare industries, one more challenge is to recruit or to retain the staff, and to have a coordination between various services. This business runs on the basis of mouth publicity. Every time advertisement is not work here over here. So mouth publicity, when it happens, if you are giving good satisfaction, full satisfaction to your patients, so automatically through mouth publicity this happens. As well as if your staff is not that much qualified, if doctor is not qualified, if doctor is not experienced, then also you can't improve your business. Next is the adoption of new technology. आपके पास कौन से मशीनरीज है, getting this. So this is also works on the, this is also one of the challenges where you have to reduce some of the cost. So what is the qualification, what is the experience of the people who are working there, this is also there. Next one is the one, what kind of infrastructure you are providing, what kind of infrastructure, what kind of facilities you are providing. Getting this, do we have all kind of facilities at one roof or not? हॉस्पिटल एक जगह पे है, उसका आईसीयू एक अलग जगह पे है, ऑपरेशन थिएटर एक अलग जगह पे है, मेडिकल कुछ अलग जगह पे है, रजिस्ट्रेशन काउंटर अलग जगह पे है, अलग बिल्डिंग में है, ये फैसिलिटी नहीं होता. दिस शुड नॉट गिव गुड सेटिस्फैक्शन. So one patient is coming, one particular building should be there where all kind of registration से लेके medical तक, tablets तक, सारा facility एक जगह पे उसको मिलना चाहिए. This is one of the challenge. So you should have to create such kind of infrastructure. You have to create such kind of infrastructure, and to create this kind of infrastructure, you need money. And whatever expenses you are making on this infrastructure, to recover these expenses through these services, it is also one type of challenge. First challenge क्या है, हमारा ये जो सर्विस है, ये चैरिटी है. सेकंड थिंग क्या है, हमारे पास अच्छे क्वालिफाइड स्टाफ होने चाहिए, अच्छा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए, एंड विद इन मिनिमम टाइम we have to provide the services to the patient. कस्टमर मेरे हॉस्पिटल में आने के बाद उसका पूरा दिन नहीं जाना चाहिए. Within minimum time I have to provide the service. There should be proper coordination, as well as there should be the good retention ratio or high retention ratio will be there. Absenteeism should be very less. Then you have to adopt new technological machineries, new technological machines, then you will provide better services. If particular machinery is not available, MRI machinery is not there, CT scan machinery is not there, or any kind of such machineries are not there, then you will not reach towards the satisfaction of your customer. And if you don't reach towards the satisfaction, then what will happen, you will lose your patients. आगे वाले पेशेंट आपके पास नहीं आएंगे. These are the challenges. So there should be proper coordination, and you have to optimize the scheduling. आपको क्या करना चाहिए, लोगों को सर्विस भी अच्छी देनी चाहिए. Employees which are working with your organization, we have to create proper schedule of these employees. So these are the challenges, and to reduce the cost of this. So here, as a businessman in healthcare industries, you need to monitor these kind of things. Okay, so this is the cost reduction technique in healthcare industry. पहले क्या है, पेशेंट को सेटिस्फाई करना है, पेशेंट का ज्यादा टाइम नहीं जाना चाहिए, ज्यादा फीस नहीं रिकवर करना है, उसके बाद कम से कम फीस में ज्यादा फैसिलिटीज देना है, अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होना है, स्टाफ टाइम पे होना चाहिए, वेटिंग टाइम कम होना चाहिए, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चाहिए तो हम लोग प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं, ब्लड बैंक शुड बी नियर टू माय हॉस्पिटल, देन बेड्स एंड अनदर एग्जामिनेशन लैब्स मेरे पास में होना चाहिए, सो दैट वी कैन सेव द टाइम. जितना भी सेव टाइम करोगे उतना भी हम लोग कॉस्ट सेव कर सकते हैं. एंड वी शुड हैव अ स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसीजर. We should have a standard procedure. So if any patient follows the process, automatically he will get the service, better services. Getting this? So we should have a standard SOP, standard process. We should have to prepare, and we can also convince to the patient to follow this process. We have to reduce the queues. We can give the online registration facility, offline registration facility, registration on call, registration physical. So this kind of facility we have to adapt so that we will reduce the cost, we will reduce the expenses. So students, that was about the healthcare facilities. I think we have finished our time. So remaining part of hospitality industries or hospitality sector, we will study tomorrow. Okay, so let us stop here. We have left with two sector. One is the hospitality sector, and last one is the educational sector, education sector. As of now, we have seen agricultural sector, strategic cost management in agricultural sector, then IT sector, automobile sector, hospitality sector. Four sectors as of now we have studied, and we have left with only two sectors. That is, one is hospitality and another is health education sector. Okay, remaining part we will see next lecture. Thank you so much.